Welcome to the 2022 Fuddruckers State Soccer Championship Seeding and Selection Show. If you're looking for the brackets, you've come to the right place. We will release the brackets for the boys and girls in all classes. A couple shout outs before we get going. I know the Centennial boys are getting together to watch the show. Hope Christian is out there. Shout out to the Huskies. St. Pius is watching. I know that. Albuquerque High is ready and waiting as well. The Las Cruces Lady Dogs are out there. Now, those are just some of the programs watching today. I know there are more of you, and hopefully you see your name pop up in the brackets today. But before we get to that, we always like to remind everyone how the seeding and selection process works. The seeding process is not the NMAA sitting in a room randomly deciding who should be the 1 seed, the 2 seed, etc., etc. It is not that. What it is a process that is all data-driven. The following criteria is used to determine a team's seed. We look at finish in regular season district play, max preps rankings, overall record, wins against district champs regardless of class, member school input, that's the coach's input and their rankings, and any head-to-head matchups. These schools are compared to one another with each of those criteria points, and the seeding is determined like one big math problem. It's all based on the numbers and data. In the event of a tie among those criteria points, head-to-head will be used to break the tie. If there is no head-to-head competition or the head-to-head competition is tied, then Max Prep's strength of schedule will be used to break the tie. There is no input given by NMAA staff. Let me repeat that once again. No input by NMAA staff. It's all data-driven based on those criteria points. Did you beat a district champ? Did you have a better record? Were you ranked higher? All of those things. There is no bias for or against any school or team. Now that we have a little refresher on how it's done, let's get to it. You clicked on this show to see the brackets, right? We are going to start with the girls. Ladies first. Let's begin in Class A through 3A. Sandia Prep is the defending state champ, so it's no surprise they start this postseason as the top seed. Sandia Prep is number 1. Sandia Prep returned virtually everyone from last year's title team. They only lost one senior. Their only losses are to St. Pius, Hope Christian, and El Dorado this year, all schools in a larger classification. Sandia Prep has won 5 of the last 6 state titles. They have 10 titles overall as a program. They like being number 1 and having that target. They embrace it.
Heck yeah. Why would you not want to be? I think that's something that every player out here looks at. I think it's one of those things that we strive for. I think that the competitive nature of these girls, and that's not to say that we're cocky. It's one of those things that when we go up against other teams, we don't take it for granted at all. We know that every single team that is going to be making the state tournament field within our classification is going to be a hard out. And that's the way that we approach every single one of them. So, for us, that's something that, we work hard for, and at this time of the year, we really have to prove it.
Here's a look at the first bracket of the day. Sandia Prep gets Rehoboth in the opener. Santa Fe Prep is the 4 and will take on St. Michael's, the 5. St. Michael's played in the final each of the last 2 years. Ruidoso is 3, and they will host Robertson this week. Bosque is the 2 seed and will take on Academy for Technology and the Classics. Moving on to Class 4A. Most coaches in any class will tell you the Huskies are one of the powerhouses this year, and those coaches would be right. Hope Christian is your number 1 seed. They are the defending state champs. Up to this point, the Huskies don't have a blemish on their record.
The Hope Christian girls soccer team has been perfect so far this year.
Super resilient, hardworking. I really can't emphasize that too much. Just competitors, everyday competitors. Nothing's good enough for them. Even big wins, nothing's good enough. They want to improve every day.
We work super hard for this. It's not like it just came naturally. We've worked all summer. We've worked all throughout the season. We've trained hard. I'm happy that we're here right now because all this hard work's paying off.
Hope has one of the top goal scorers in the state in junior Savannah Sanchez.
I've been working on trying not to turn as much so I don't run into pressure, and honestly I just want to pass and move. As much as I would like to score, I'd like to also give assists to help my team out because a goal's a goal.
Hope Christian won it all in 2021 for the 6th state championship in program history.
It was probably the best feeling ever, and I do not want, because freshman year we lost and that was the worst feeling ever, and I never want to feel that again, so it's our goal to win. Until I leave, I want to win every year.
They will try to make it back-to-back blue trophies this November.
Here's a look at who's joining Hope Christian with a first-round bye. Here are the top 4 in 4A. Each of these teams received that first-round bye. Albuquerque Academy is the 2 seed with scoring machine Anna Babinski. St. Pius is 3. The Sartans were last year's runner-up. In fact, the Sartans have played in the last 3 title games. Los Alamos is the 4 seed, and the Hilltoppers also earned that trip to the quarterfinals. How about the bracket? Glad you asked. Here's the Class 4A first-round lineup. Silver and Santa Teresa is the 8-9 matchup. The winner moves on to face Hope Christian. Goddard is the 5 seed and will host Artesia. Aztec is 6 and will take on Valencia. Kirtland Central is the 7th seed and will take on another Four Corners team, Bloomfield, with the winner traveling to Academy to face the Chargers. The final girls bracket to announce is Class 5A. This year's top honor goes to, I know a lot of you are waiting anxiously, the number 1 seed for the girls in Class 5A is the Cleveland Storm. Cleveland is 16-1-1 overall. The Cleveland girls are looking for their first state soccer championship. But they aren't the only team with an automatic spot in the quarterfinals. The top 4 teams are Las Cruces at 2, El Dorado at 3, and Volcano Vista at 4. The Hawks won it all in 2019. All 4 of these teams, again, receive a first-round bye. Get your camera ready to take a picture of the screen because the entire Class 5A bracket looks like this. Clovis is the 8 and will take on La Cueva. The 9, defending state champ Cibola, is a 5 and will host Hobbs this week. Sandy is the 6 and will meet up with Oregon Mountain. Albuquerque High is the 7 seed and will take on Santa Fe, the 10 seed. Now, one noteworthy soccer milestone involving this field, La Cueva head coach Amber Ashcraft picked up her 450th career win late in the season.
It's a really big number, so the biggest thing that I'm honored with is that I've gotten that number at one school, and that not very many women coaches ever reach this milestone.
3 brackets down and 3 more to go. The boys A through 3A classification has been dominated by Sandia Prep. The Sun Devils head into this postseason again as the number 1 seed. Sandia Prep is your 1 seed. Head coach Tommy Smith is in his 25th season. They have an experienced group, 8 seniors. Defense and goalkeeping has been outstanding with 13 clean sheets on the schedule. That's 13 shutouts. They've only given up 10 goals in 19 matches. And offensively, senior Finn Saunders is one of the top players in the state. He set a school record when he scored 7 goals in 1 game earlier this year.
He's had as good a season as anyone has ever had here. He's closing in on some records, milestones, and he's been the guy. I mean, we've leaned on him, and when we're struggling offensively, he's usually the guy that's going to score for us.
Yeah, I definitely want the ball and need the ball a lot. Like as a striker, I'd say I come in more than a lot of strikers rather than making a lot of runs. Get the ball at my feet, sort of develop plays more, almost like a playmaker as well.
Now to the bracket. Here are your matchups in Class A through 3A. Boys, Sandia Prep gets Tierra Encantada in the opening round. St. Michael's is your 4 against Robertson, the 5. This will be the 4th time they match up this season, but that's just the way the seeding shakes out. The 2 teams just played to a 0-0 draw in double overtime on Saturday. Santa Fe Prep is the 3 seed and will take on East Mountain. Hatch Valley's the 2 going up against New Mexico Military Institute. Hatch Valley just beat them 4-1 on Saturday. The Bears are on an 11-match win streak. Moving on to Class 4A. Any guesses as to who's the number 1 seed this postseason? Go ahead. Shout out your guesses. Let me hear. Who do you think it'll be? Okay, well, anyone who yelled Lovington, you were right. Lovington is number 1. Lovington was a state runner-up each of the last 2 years. They're 17-2-1 overall. They haven't lost a match since the end of August. They've only given up more than 1 goal in a match just twice this season.
It feels as though all the work you put in, even dropping 2 games early in the year, we were able to overcome that. And I think that's one of the messages as well as a team. It's, hey, can you overcome those things? So you know what? We felt like we're deserving of it because of what our schedule is, what we've been able to overcome, how we've been able to get, pull together as a team. And so I think we're in the right path.
You want the top 4? Here they are. These 4 teams will have to wait to see who they will play. 2-time defending state champ Academy is the 2 seed. Chargers have played in the final 8 of the last 9 years. Los Alamos is 3. They played in the final in 2019. And Goddard, you are the 4 seed with a first-round bye. Who else made the field? Here they are, starting at the top. Artesia is the 8 and Santa Teresa is the 9. St. Pius is the 5 seed. We'll take on Kirtland Central. The winner moves on to Goddard. The Hope Boys are a 6 and will host Deming. Highland is the 7 seed. The Hornets will host Miyamura, with the winner moving on to take on Academy. Last, but certainly not least, Class 5A. The final top seed is going to be revealed right now on this show. I'm about to tell you who it is. Could be a couple different schools. We went through the seeding process, and this one team came out on top. The Class 5A number 1 seed is, have I stalled enough for you? Volcano Vista, let out a cheer. You're the top seed. The Hawks are 14-1 and 3 overall. Their only loss is an early season defeat to Sandia Prep, and they haven't lost since then. The Hawks last won it all in 2014. Let's take a look at the top 4 in Class 5A. They are Volcano Vista, Centennial, La Cueva, and Hobbs. The Bears won it all in 2016. Hobbs last lifted the blue trophy in 1997. Centennial has never won a soccer championship, but they put together a solid season. Their only loss was a 2-1 defeat to Hobbs the first week in September. They haven't lost in their last 12 matches since. They have 10 shutouts on the season.
Centennial has been very productive in other sports as far as, already having some teams, being in that game, and in various sports. But for Centennial boys soccer, I think it would mean a lot just because we're finally turning the page. We're finally, being able to be competitive. This has been something that we've been working with, to get here to this point for a long time. So finally being able to get the opportunity to compete for that, is obviously, life-changing for these boys and for the school and for the culture. And, we have a lot of support down here and we're just hoping that we make a good run for it.
Here are the first round matchups. Oregon Mountain is an 8. They get Sandia. The 9, Albuquerque High, will host Cleveland in the 5-12 matchup. Defending state champ Santa Fe is a 6 seed and will take on Rio Rancho. That's a matchup of the last 2 state champs, by the way. Gadsden is a 7. They get Atrisco Heritage, who just beat Rio Rancho 2-1 in double overtime Saturday night. There you have it, all 6 brackets, 3 girls and 3 boys, and the action starts this week. Don't forget, you can watch the state championship games this fall on the NFHS network. So get a subscription and log on so you can watch the championship matches. That's going to do it for the seeding and selection show of the 2022 Fuddruckers State Soccer Championships. Good luck to all the teams involved, and remember to compete with class.